Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got Joe from Fairville Megastore here.
Hey.
How you doing, Joe?
I'm so good. It's so good to see you guys.
Very good to see you as well.
Thank you.
It's been a minute since we've seen you.
I was Dorothy last time.
Yes, you were.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you were well represented at the Bad at Business Beer Fest. I saw many people with an FU University or FU University
Yes, our Fairville University.
koozie on their pint glasses.
Yes.
So thank you for those. We appreciate you guys always having a footprint out there.
And we've been talking about this, but as we move into the holiday season, Fairville Megastore is a great place to go and get some gifts.
Well,
and
not
it doesn't
just-
even have to be.
No, it doesn't have to be sexy. It doesn't have to be
Right.
sexual wellness. I mean, it can be. I mean,
Sure.
and they have all of that. But it
Yeah,
can
yeah.
also be kitschy, fun, holiday-themed, naughty, silly,
Yeah.
comedy.
Novelty,
Yeah.
house gift. It's perfect for White Elephant shopping. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it is
Every price point.
It's the #1 store for White Elephant. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I have a legendary story of bringing that ginormous pierced megadong to my White Elephant, and it literally made the party.
Yeah.
Like, it changed the entire dynamic
You
of
will
the
be the
day.
hit of the party.
You
That's
will.
right.
There were
Yes.
people fighting over it. They got
Yes.
stuck on the door. Like, it was just a
Yes.
wild time. So if you want to have a good time,
Yeah.
again, Fairville is
Or make a
perfect for
memory.
White Elephant. So what do we got? What are we rolling
Well,
through today?
before we even roll through
Yeah.
some stuff, first of all, I haven't had the opportunity, I think, to tell you how good you looked in that kilt because I super social
Oh,
stalked you.
yeah.
You did look good. You did
And
look
your
good.
wife looked amazing.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah.
you
Your
guys
wife looked
looked
hot as hell.
amazing.
I'm not going to talk as much to you. I know that makes you uncomfortable, but I'll tell
But
you right
your
now, Crystal
wife,
Van.
let me tell you, Crystal.
Holy smokes, put a spell on me, baby.
Yeah.
Curse me, mama.
She so rocked that
Yeah.
world. It
I
was
wanted
so
her
exciting.
to bite my neck and make me live eternal.
Well, let's talk about that for a second because. She
She already packed it up.
please,
It's
no,
never to be worn again.
No. That picture of me is.
You also
been
are giving the psycho eyes.
That was
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. You know who you look like in that? You give him that Cat Williams eyeball.
Well-
You're giving
Should be
full
the-
Cat Williams.
Your DVD cover.
Everybody like they were telling
You're
me
giving
not.
the eyes like, yeah, anal.
They were telling me not to
Anal.
smile. They're like, goths don't smile. So, make a serious face. So
I think
then,
goths do smile.
yeah, but not for pictures.
Through their eyes.
And for goth night, everybody
Yeah.
who had a serious face.
But
so
you're
then,
giving like a,
because
you're doing the Tool time.
because I didn't know what to do with my face
Yeah.
in a picture.
It showed.
Because in
Your body looked amazing.
in what scenario have you ever had a picture taken of you in a costume where you don't do anything with your face?
I've never had that.
It's like,
I've never had that.
You always smile.
No
or is
one's
that
ever-
like
no-
a thumbs up.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do a thumbs up.
No
so
one's
then
ever told me don't smile
I just
in a photo.
did surprise eyes
Yeah.
because I had to do something instead of
You
just
should
look
have just
bored.
like resting bitch face.
Yeah,
Just look like, like you look when I'm talking to you.
well, I wanted to do like an intense goth. Anyway,
Well, it was
they-
intense.
It was
they're
great.
bullying
Yeah.
me now, Joe. All over. The BDMs are bullying me because now I see that picture. They're putting
Yeah.
it.
It's a creepy ass
Shampoo's
picture, man.
using
Yeah.
it.
Oh, shampoo loves it.
Eric
It's so
Rodriguez.
Good. It's so good. And Tracy had amazing makeup. I mean, it was so fun to celebrate Halloween with you guys. It was fun to come in and play as Dorothy. Our party was exceptional. We
Nice.
had it was incredible.
I saw
and
some of the
we're-
costuming
Oh,
that
and
our friend,
everybody came in costume.
our
They
friend
were so
Samantha
good.
got some pretty dope
Yes,
costumes
she
from
did.
you. We saw
and
those.
rocked them at festivals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have not stopped since October started. We are just having a blast and carrying that all the way through. So thanks for being part of that. But what's really exciting is we're coming into Thanksgiving, and first and foremost, we're so grateful for all the support that we've had for 50 years.
Yeah,
50
man.
years next year, which will be so exciting. But I had the opportunity to sit with Bill and Sherry and Logan the other day for lunch and just listen to the stories over the decades. And it's just such an exceptional heritage that we have in this community, but it wouldn't be without the people that support us. So we're going to celebrate the junk out of that for Black Friday because we're super grateful for our people. So for all weekend, #1, Orlando is open on Thanksgiving. So
Okay.
if you're looking for a way to get in your steps and walk off the turkey and get away
Yeah.
from the fams, we are there for you.
Take Granny down there. Take Granny down there after you eat your turkey and you say your blessing, you carve, you eat, you stuff yourself. Take a quick nap. You wake up, you have that secondary turkey sandwich. You load Granny in the car, everybody to Fairvilla. Let's get holiday butt plug. Let's all get Thanksgiving butt plug.
Okay, but you just spoke about the fact that we are so much more than butt plugs. So we are safe for
you
Granny,
are,
right?
But I feel like if you're going there on Thanksgiving, you should get a butt plug.
Imagine if you brought your pop-up there.
Yeah. Oh,
You just showed him what the technology that he has no idea about.
Someday I will share the time that I took my mother. It was a field trip that we took after her husband had died, and she was in a different space in life.
Right after he died?
But, not right after. Stop. She's going to kill me right now. But my point is...
Immediately following? I know what'll cheer you up.
My point is that Fairvilla is there for every stage of life, which is really exciting. So, and I have had many stages that it's walked me through, and I can't imagine the other people in the market. So we're celebrating that through Black Friday, and starting Thursday, Orlando's open. And then every day through the weekend, we've got some sort of gift with purchase, ridiculous deal. So what I actually brought to show you guys today is our purchasing department has gone out of control. And they are putting 5 things
we
that
have
are,
too many butt plugs.
Let me tell you, they've gone out of control. It's not, I don't know that it's overstocked, but they literally...
It's my nickel pickle sale. Sorry.
They actually jammed up on some of the hottest products and then made them ridiculously available. So we're going to begin with some fun stuff. So this is the Olivia... Can we say G?
You can say G-spot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
all
clinical
right, so
term.
It's
never been found.
Sure, right? Yeah. Okay,
that's like saying Pangea. It's like science. No one understands. No one knows what that means on our show. You could have said plate tectonics. Everyone's like, well, we don't know.
Well, I'm gonna be watching my acronyms and asking for help.
You can say G-spot.
All right, so G-spot.
I still don't know what it is.
So this is the Olivia. If you guys can see this, this thing is amazing because it has that deep curve, which is perfect for hitting the spot.
Deep
right?
curve.
So if you can't find it, this is a thing to help you find it. High-grade silicone, super flexible, waterproof.
Yeah, you gotta have it waterproof
in
these days.
and out of the water, which is super fun.
Yeah.
Also,
I remember when none of them were waterproof.
No, that's real.
No,
yeah.
I seriously
and they
remember,
were plugged in
like,
and
literally, you would screw in. There'd be a spring that held the batteries in,
yes.
like you're working with an old toy from
Maglite.
Yeah, exactly. You know
you know.
Just like a Maglite. This guy knows. You were there too.
Well, this one's not like a Mad Light, but it is also super discreet because you were talking about the days of electricity and we had to stop and do things. This is really quiet. So if you're looking for an amazing evening to hide away, this is good. What were you going to say?
What does the G stand for?
Go, baby.
So it's actually named after the doctor that discovered it, and his name is some sort of
let me
extra
guess.
syllables.
Gupta. They're all Gupta.
It's not
Dr. Gupta?
Some dude. I don't think it's that. But
what if it was the Gupta spot?
Do you know what?
We should start calling it that.
There is a video on YouTube that actually goes all into the history, the discovery, and the how-tos of the G-spot at Fairvilla University. So check that out on our.com. Also, discreet, internal and external, so it can be used a lot of ways. And it's a staple product. And here's the fun part.
Dr. Ernst Grafenberg.
There it is.
Dr. Grafenberg spot?
Yeah, it's the Grafenberg spot.
Note while we say G and not that. That's a lot of syllables.
Yeah.
But it is a staple product, and here's the really fun part. Normally $80 this weekend, Black Friday only, $30.
Oh, okay. So that's like you're doing like deep saving.
Extreme.
Tom's
right?
still thinking Grafenberg.
Yeah.
I can see it in his eyes.
No, we're doing extreme Black Friday. We've actually changed it to Sexy Friday, so we want to have some fun.
Speaking of pop-ups out there, who's more confusing to a pop-up, Dr. Grafenberg or Dr. Dre? I'm sorry.
No, I feel like we should have a vote.
Keep going.
Well, we're going to go from the Olivia to the Artemis.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds like something for dudes.
This is its dual stimulator.
Yeah, Artemis.
So
that's how they catch the booster with the chopstick. Right?
It can be used for both owners. All the owners can have some fun. It is double the fun because it's internal and external. It is not only incredibly powerful, but super quiet. So lots of buzz with little noise, which we love. Rechargeable in 30 minutes, and you get a full hour of play out of this bad boy.
I like that.
So throw in a storage case and some toy cleaner, and this is the perfect gift. Regularly $65, $20.
I have
Oh,
an admission.
really?
$20 on
They're
Friday.
$20?
No,
$20.
Give me 5 of them.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, give me
I
5
mean,
of
There's
them.
your
They're
there's your
small.
white elephant
Yeah.
gift right
One
there.
for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's $20
Yeah,
anymore.
you know what? Everybody that comes to dinner at my house is taking home an Artemis.
Right?
Yeah,
Calvin.
everybody. Grandpa.
$20. Everybody.
Andrea's 101-year-old grandfather will be taking home an Artemis. Andrea's father
I
will
feel
be
like-
taking home.
I feel like it's so powerful.
Artemis.
It'd be great for muscles. You know, you
Yeah.
could think outside of the
Oh,
box.
it's great for muscles.
I mean, that is a super well-made product.
Right? I
that-
know.
I mean,
medical grade,
Now,
like all
I mean,
the
not
things.
to be this guy, but it does
Yeah.
happen around the holidays. For the way that you guys are deep discounting this stuff, I feel like I could go there, buy these, and then get some suckers on Facebook Marketplace and mark them all up.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna.
don't talk about reselling
I'm just saying.
the
I'm
Fairville
not
I'm
gonna
product.
trying to
tell
out trash you. I'm trying to out trash you. People do it all the time. Have you been on Facebook Marketplace? That's all they do. They go to Big Lots and then they buy stuff that they think they can flip.
Well, we're not Big Lots, but I'm not going to tell you what to do with your dill stems.
I thought you were going
but
to say the big C word.
Yeah. But if you're gonna get something for your wife,
Yeah.
That
Get her
will
an
last
Artemis. then.
$20. I mean, that's the
High-end.
best $20 you can spend,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Well, and think about it. You throw in a storage case and some
I see
toy
that.
cleaner, and for $60, you've got a really nice
oh,
gift under
dude,
the
this is
tree.
a hefty boy.
Right? Yeah. Medical grade silicone, super with a water-based lube. I mean, that thing is spectacular.
I can't read all the stuff it has because it gets way clinical, but yeah, man, this thing,
What?
it's got 10 different modes.
What is the I guess
Yeah.
protocol for like if you got that for like a female coworker?
No, you can't do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
You can't do that
I would
unless
say
you're,
if
unless you're dating her. If you're
Yeah.
dating her, are you dating the
No,
female, or
no,
is this
no.
your first
It's
move?
just- no, it's just
Yeah, you just
I
put it on her desk, open
no. I just like
and on.
Yeah.
Put it
As
on her
a gift.
keyboard.
Because it'll be quiet.
Put it on her keyboard.
It'll be
and,
like
and yeah, let it bounce around her desk.
no. I'm just saying, like, if the stipulation,
entry
you know how
point.
they do that, like each person you get a gift for the
Yeah.
office,
Yeah.
but it's under $20, and you
Yeah.
get the Artemis, and then you give it to Susie, and then she opens it. Like it would be. I mean, she would
She's like,
want
"Who got me this? It's me, Stanley.
but is it?
I got you this."
Is that going to be some HR
It
issue?
might. It might, especially
But
if you go.
why?
I was hoping you'd let me watch you use it.
No, you don't say any of that. You just, it is a quality gift for a coworker.
Oh, let me tell you, the Chambers of Commerce hold their breath every time we give a door prize.
It's all right,
Wasn't it? But
Yeah.
we impress them every time, just like we can for you and your white elephant. If that's your HR department and that's how they roll, they're on sale this weekend. If not, we have other options.
But what would the HR
Do you
department?
think people have gotten fired for that?
I feel like yes.
Do you think somebody's come to the
Let me
White
be
Elephant?
very
and
clear.
But
they're
what if you
and
just
they're
said like, hey, this is a
and
product?
they're
I
like,
don't,
the pro-
you know,
the
I don't
deal
know
on
what
this
it's.
Artemis.
Fairvilla does not support that just for
So
every
they're
HR
like,
person out
they're
there.
like, look, the deals on these Artemis are so great. I'm gonna give people something that actually is useful for the white elephant instead of going and getting. You know what's the worst white elephant? I'm saying what
Say
I'm
it.
saying.
Tea towels.
And I'm saying it to everybody.
Okay, go.
When you give me a mason jar that has all the ingredients for cookies in it,
yeah,
I
all right.
throw it in the trash.
yeah.
After I
That is the
open it
worst.
and I
like
spit in it,
cookies?
I open it, I spit on the top of it so no one can use it, and I throw it in the trash.
Bitter.
And your coquina, same thing. I don't need any
You
of that
throw
garbage.
away cookie. What is that?
Coquet?
No,
Whatever
hold on.
it is.
Coquito.
Coquito.
Whatever
There
it
we
is.
go.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. The spicy milk, I throw it in the trash.
Puerto Rican eggnog.
I don't
Everybody
need
knows.
I don't need any of
good.
that. You know what's worse than that?
Yeah.
Eggnog. Regular eggnog.
yeah.
All right,
is the
I'd
worst.
agree with that.
It's
Unless
all trash.
If it came with bourbon, though, that'd be nice.
Okay, sorry, we're interrupting you.
Yeah.
But I do think people
next
have gotten
product.
fired. Don't get fired. Don't get fired.
Listen, well, I think my HR department's having a field day right now. So this one's super exciting as well. Now I'm going to use my acronyms again. This is a C stimulator.
Okay.
Okay. So this is called the Elegance Dreamy C Stimulator. This is a new generation.
I like how they gave the two words in front of the C stimulator are like
Elegance,
it's the
dreamy.
elegance and dreamy C. It's very aggressive.
Well, I am going to say there's an ethereal experience in this box, though, so it might have been named appropriately because it's the new generation of C stimulation.
Pepsi's a new generation.
Well, this is better than that. It's
You got the
super
right
powerful.
one, baby. What happened to
say-
that guy? He died.
So
When's the last time you've come to appreciate
now,
our story?
Joe, I'm still confused.
Yeah. Can I see that one?
Yep.
I actually don't know what C you're talking about because I'm like, it looks like
the seven C's.
it looks like a plumb bob that you attach to some sort of. I don't even know.
Little C.
There we go. How about the man in the boat stimulator?
Yeah.
Oh.
C. Yeah. The C.
Okay. I
Hard
see.
to find C.
I
There
see
we
the
go.
top. The top.
There are 10 speed options. We're
Oh.
still talking about the guy in the boat. His
Yeah.
oars are worthy. Silky smooth, high in silicone. So again, we were talking about that these are all really good quality. Guys, quality is sexy. You can go to these other places. If you walk in, it smells bad. Don't purchase the things.
Smells like
'cause,
fish in here.
I mean, you don't want to do that to your partner. So all these things are super safe. Safety is sexy. Look at you. You can't even control yourself.
Safety's sexy, but I'll tell you what, fish is not.
And I know.
I'll let you make the choice. Y'all know the difference.
I know what the guy is, but I don't know what the boat is.
You know what the boat is.
I feel like we're going in the deep end.
Yeah.
There's the man in the boat.
Yeah. I know what the man.
Yeah.
What's the boat? Anyway,
You
sorry,
know,
Joe.
He
Keep it
sits at
going.
the end.
I feel like
Do you get it?
What's the boat made of?
I
Look,
feel
here's
like
the-
that might help you find it.
Yeah, like it's.
Is it a rowboat?
It is a rowboat. It
Okay,
is.
all right.
Yeah.
So here's the deal with the Dreamy. Normally $90, $35.
Oh my God.
What an investment to make if you can't find the man in the boat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say it says $90
nice little
on there.
GPS on there. Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
this
not
one
making it
hasn't
up.
even been marked down yet.
Because they're only for one day. They're Sexy Friday
Yeah.
only.
This is a $100
Right?
gift right here that you can get for less than $50. That's
right?
awesome.
Okay.
That's
so,
great, Joe.
Aren't we having fun? And I got two more, which are really extreme. Okay. So a little bit of stuff for everybody. This is our STEM 2 pleasure kit.
All
What's
right.
really exciting about this is internal and
Like, look,
external.
every time you present something, you're like, this is our STEM 2 pleasure kit. All right. It's like, what are you like at the John Deere? You're at the John Deere store, and we're like, this here's our brand new John Deere. All right. All right. Let's get to Mike.
My
How
inner
fast that
hillbilly,
thing go, man?
my inner hillbilly eats it up. I adore
All
it. I appreciate it, right?
All right, all right.
I'm still confused by the baloney boat.
The baloney boat.
The baloney boat.
We're moving on. Okay, stimulate. What, STEM 2?
I don't like it. Yeah. Okay, STEM 2 pleasure kit. A lot of fun facts on this thing, but internal and external, suction, vibration, texture, tickling, like in this box, and it's all black so you can't really see it. But this does everything, even includes a blindfold. Good for him and her and them and they and all the peeps and things.
Yeah.
High grade silicone, perfect for every player. Normally $140. You're never gonna guess what this is this Friday. $50.
All right.
Oh,
$50.
I like
this
that.
This
That's-
is 4 pieces.
That's a lot of gear for $50.
$50, and you can see.
And I don't know if you know this, Tom. When I
So
put a
look at the
blindfold
front.
on, I become a different person. I become a
mean-
wild man.
Who doesn't?
When I have a
you ever
blindfold
been?
on-
Have you ever been in one of those dark rooms? Have you been in one?
I mean, I have my wife blindfold me and tie me up.
hold on. What's a dark room? What?
I suggest you explore. So we are involved
Is
in
it
a
like
lot
what
of fun.
Aaron Rodgers did?
And a lot
That's
of
what he
fun
did.
things.
Yeah.
Literally, in a lot of the communities, when they do some of their, we have many here. We have one at Secrets. We have a location there, right? And we have people that take over lifestyle takeovers here at hotels. And when they do things, they create a dark room, which literally is can't see anything in front of you, and you just experience what you experience. Something for everyone.
It's in my mouth.
Let's watch us talk about that.
I feel like
I know what that was.
So do you just do you know who's in there?
Could be anyone.
I
Jelly
mean,
roll pops
I
up.
can't tell
The
you what
jelly
the
rolls
rules
in there.
are.
I'm like, you eat your boogers.
I can't tell you what the rules are, but I feel like it's an experience that is like wearing
That's
a
extreme
blindfold.
tag. I'll
That's
tell you
extreme.
that right now. That's
That's
extreme
extreme.
Well,
tag.
I need to know who's in there.
The whole chat is saying.
You just stand outside and like watch them walk in.
Hold on,
for a minute.
I hear Tully laughing.
Wait. I gotta know. I see it moving. What are they saying? I see it moving.
It is moving. There are a lot of people in our Twitch
Yes.
chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live,
Yes.
also YouTube. At Tom and Dan Live.
Okay.
Apparently, a lot of people in the chat room go to these dark rooms. And
Do
they
you
are-
like it? Tell me,
they
guys,
are-
do you
they
like
are
it?
pro dark room.
Hold on.
Show me. Yes
I
or no?
trust
Yes or
know
Robert.
this
No,
is-
I trust Robert. Robert says dark rooms are very fun.
Oh, look at that.
He's like Russian hands and Russian fingers.
See, look at a blindfold.
Russian.
He said roving hands and Russian fingers. I don't know what that means. I guess
I wonder where
Russians
he
are known for
was.
tiny fingers.
Oh my gosh, the conversation is so good. I wish I could read
Hold on.
it.
So you're going into a dark room.
Yeah.
They create and then is it serious? seriously, is it like, hey, just explore whatever
Is
happens?
it like walking through a car wash? You know, you just like-
I
if
can't,
you know what I'm, if
I
you're
can't
picking up
speak
what I'm
from
laying
experience, but they can.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, apparently.
Yeah.
So
Robert, is it like
blindfold-
walking through a car wash?
Is everybody wandering around, or are they going to one place, or are you making a Marco Polo like noise so that people can find
I
you?
don't know.
I don't know.
Come on, no Biden. Come on, no Biden. Come on. Oh, sniff air.
Why'd they even put that? Anyway,
So that's it. Those are, I mean, that's not it, but that is a wonderful sampling of what's happening Sexy Friday.
Well, you guys, I mean, those are obviously going to sell out. I mean, you're taking
Yeah.
more than half off the price. I mean, in some
Yeah.
in some cases, you're up to 60, 70% off of,
Yeah.
you know, you're getting a $175 kit for $50.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
stupid.
insanely
I'd be
well-made
s-
products.
Yeah, I'd be stocking up even if it wasn't for gifts. Like, this is a great time to shop. So,
Yeah.
so we just wanted to really, every location, all 7 of them, we just really wanted to say thank you so much for all the support over all of the years. And we want to make sure that our products and our store and our staff represent that. So we hope that you'll come celebrate your Thanksgiving with us this weekend.
Let's give them a quick rundown of, because I'm going to get hit up and they're
Yeah.
going to ask these questions.
Yeah.
Best store out of all locations to get pajamas and lingerie.
Actually, lingerie would be Sanford.
Sanford.
Sanford's super apparel heavy, perfect, and there's great stuff in there right now.
It's a
'cause we
beautiful
just got
store.
New things, yeah.
Best location for wellness products would obviously be Megastore.
Actually, wellness. Well, we've got a great sampling of it. Wellness again is our boutiques.
Okay.
So Cape Canaveral, Sanford.
Boom.
But if you're looking for the 2nd and 3rd floor items, some of the things that you'd like to create a little bit more exploration, you're going to find way more of that at the Megastore, which is in
the
Orlando.
upscale massagers, some of your bigger.
The high end,
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, on Thanksgiving, our Liberator products. I don't know if you're familiar with Liberator.
I'm very familiar.
I mean, why wouldn't you be? Actually, my back surgery, I'm now destined to get one of the couches because they're great for recovery and yoga as well. So
Hey.
any Liberator product, you purchase $100 and you're going to get a free gift just
Use
for
that for your
showing up on
sports.
Thanksgiving.
Use it for your running, dude.
Right.
You can slide
That's
one in there. Crystal
my
will
fi-
never know. You're like, I
my-
need this for recovery.
Let me tell you, my physical therapist was super excited about 2 things. Number 1, my ability and desire to wear a corset because it's great for back support.
All right.
And number 2, our Liberator and those products are great for physical therapy and flexibility. So again, wellness shows up in many forms.
My wife put on a corset, but everything just squoze out the bottom.
So why did you say that?
Well,
I don't know. I made that up. I was trying to think, what's the worst thing you could say about it? I think I nailed it.
I feel like they shape the booty, so enjoy.
I
you
nailed
know?
it on that.
Well, Joe, thanks so much for coming
Oh,
in. We
it's always
appreciate
We
it.
love you.
pleasure.
Thanks for being here. Please give
Yeah.
everybody some love from us at these stores,
back out.
and
Yeah.
we'll be right back.
Thanks, everybody.
Fairvilla.com.
Yes.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan on the couch today. You know him from the Orlando podcast with his own name attached. It's our good buddy, comedian Ross McCoy.
Hashtag Tots with Ross.
There you
Hey,
go.
guys.
There you go. Anything new on Tots with Ross? What's your last one?
We are in the midst of negotiations to find a venue and get running with the inaugural Mo DeWitt Tater Tot Championship. I think we call it the Mo DeWitt American Tater Tot Championship. So
I like that.
yeah.
I
What
love
is it?
this.
What is
No,
that?
no. I love this. This just sounds super stupid. Count me in. Are we all cooking tots, the best tots?
Tom, are you not caught up? It's like, you know how like Seminole Harley Davidson has the chili cook-off with like
yeah.
the fire department doing like motorcycle tricks and stuff once
Yeah,
a year
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. It's that, but for tater tots. The American Tater Tot Champion. So like, you know, they're
Is there that many different
they're
styles
defunct
of
now,
tots?
but like say Oblivion Tap Room
Yeah.
and Beefy King and Johnny's, all like, for example, just 3 off the top of my head.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hooters is gonna be in the mix because they're my other, you know, go-to if you're in an airport or whatever. So like everybody gets together, they make their best tots. We have a panel of celebrity judges, and the Mo DeWitt American Tater Tot Championship.
Write that down.
Now,
I'm putting money behind that. I want to be involved in that, please.
with the judges, do
Yeah.
each judge eat one tot from each contestant,
I-
or multiple tots?
I would like it if it were very much like, you know how the guy from
So-
Barstool does the one bite?
Yeah, the one by Pizza Shop.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of
one top.
Yeah, what do you think?
So it sounds like, Tom, you want to be involved with the rules committee. So yeah, I'm gonna sign you up for that. And but we'll probably have like a plain tot and like a loaded tot challenge. That's kind of my vision. Is like just one singular naked golden tater tot.
Do you only turn in one tot? Like if this were a barbecue challenge, when you have to put the leafy greens in there in the box and everything, and then you got to close it and you got to run up there and put your number on it and you got to be there in time.
Yeah.
Are you turning in one of you're turning in your greatest tater tot?
In a perfect world, like if I get infinite funds to put on the Mo DeWitt American Tater Tot
We're making this happen. This is gonna happen.
And yeah, it would be like you get like a one tot container, and everybody would submit like how you pick your biggest fry at McDonald's. They have like that little contest with the kids. Your best tot, put it in a singular thing, cover it with foil, have somebody run it to the judges.
Yeah.
And then also completely prepare like a little one of those little paper tray dishes from like a bowling alley or whatever, and then order with like chili or cheese or whatever sausage gravy, whatever your like loaded tots is.
Okay. Now
I'm starved right now.
Our,
And I do enjoy a good tater tot, It took me a minute to get my daughter on board, and now she's trying all the different flavors, like tots versus crowns, because they're totally different.
Yes.
A crown, you know what a crown is, right?
a smashed tot.
Well,
right?
kind of. When you go to Burger King and they got crowns.
Yes.
They're like smashed round
They're
discs.
also Chick-fil-A has crowns. I'm trying to think of others who have crowns.
It's like if you took your Thanksgiving cranberry jelly out of the can in a whole slice. If you just cut like a quarter of the can off, the tot version of that.
Yeah. I'm not a crown guy. I don't like the crowns.
And then you got to decide now at the freezer aisle, are you going to go like with regular tots, or somehow in the freezer aisle they can determine whether or not they're extra crispy. I don't understand how they determine that. It seems like it's up to me in my oven, but the bag says extra crispy, and I don't know how.
Well, we want to thank everybody for coming out to the beer fest.
He was done with our tater tot.
Well, I'm just going to move it on.
Hold on, let me. Okay, that's the alarm. He's done with your tater tot. I want you shut your filthy tater tot mouth.
I thought we had a good little tot segment, and then I'm moving on to the next segment.
That was a hard pivot. That was a hard pivot.
You could tell I was about to go into those tots with the onions integrated.
Yeah, I thought that's where
that
we were
was
going.
the next move, and
I
he
thought
was
that's
like,
where you were going.
Absolutely.
I was ready to talk about that.
for sure.
Bojangles has those. We'll get to those another time. Let's give
Oh,
some
no, we
menus
can still
out.
talk about tot. Listen, I'm tired from over the weekend, so I'm down for whatever. I don't care.
Let's give out our thank yous, because without the thank yous, we wouldn't be able to do these incredible events. This year, the weather was phenomenal. The people, it was just so fun. To those of you that came out to the 10th year of the Bad at Business Beer Fest, the 11th year of Sofas and Suds, thank you guys so much for making it out there, and thank you to all of our sponsors that made it possible.
Yep, and they're nothing any crazy in particular that we could talk about with like Sofas and Suds.
I will say, maybe with Sofas and Suds a little bit. I will say that if I found it odd that we had a couple couches that didn't roll.
what?
Like they were there or they were running late or something. And I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying, like, to those of you or any of you that think this isn't a real competition, it's as real as it gets. I mean, there were there were disqualifications yesterday. Our team got disqualified.
I want to
As an inaugural participant of that event, I remember the first year when there were no rules.
Oh, it was crazy.
And it was like double up around the corner, head-to-head sofa against sofa
I'm sorry
madness.
about that. I apologize.
No. I personally, I would go back to that. It was me. I would go back to that no helmets, like football era. But like they have worked out the rules and stuff to the point where people take it super serious.
Oh yeah.
It's a real event now, and the couches go fast, and the people are on. Like, it's a real thing now.
And Wayne Dench won this year with
God, they got a good couch, dude.
with a single fat tire 3-wheeler steering system.
Oh, a 3-wheeler.
Yeah,
or
and
like a
it's- and
3-wheel
a
front tire.
trike
yeah.
couch.
And I didn't think about that. I thought their tires are going to be too fat, but it was a light couch. But they get the grip of those fatter, like almost balloony-tuning Honda tires. It kind of grips the road, and it kind of keeps it smooth.
The only thing more Tom Van than that is if they could make it a stand-up jet ski couch.
It's very, very rednecky looking. It's a great looking couch.
But it caused them to turn faster
Yeah,
around
tight
the corners.
radius. Yeah.
And of course, like CrossFit had won the past 2 years because they have a really good, like kind of like the Audi style 2-wheel front. With the steering wheel, and they are wider turns. That one single tire steering system
Yeah, you
seems
can
like
cut it.
it'll be like the next evolution of these couch races. But we appreciate everybody who came by. And
I heard there was hijinks. I heard that Wayne Dench set up that push-up challenge that the CrossFitters stopped and did during the race that cost them the race. I heard that.
I can't resist one.
And our team was great.
Yeah,
and
they did a great job.
We appreciate
I'm
everybody.
changing Pig Farmer's name to Space Cowboy.
Yeah.
It's better because he works on rockets and he's a cowboy.
And
Pig Farmer's just disrespectful.
And our team did get disqualified because they didn't know the rules that everybody on the team had. Because one person fell.
I really blame us. One person did fall and get hurt.
Wow.
And then he kind of crawled.
Brandon, yeah.
Yeah, but he was like, when you're crawling, you're going to play it up. You're going to like, and then you're going to like not worry about crossing the line because your team already crossed the line and you're injured.
And then technically the other team crossed the line before our last member did, and then therefore Modern Plumbing won.
Plumbing took the crown.
Which,
or at least in our race, they beat us.
Was better
Talk about some forgetting to step on second base BS.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But it's okay. It's okay. It's always nice when your clients come out on top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which for sure I'm going to tell Modern Plumbing, like...
did you guys lose the golf game on purpose? Is that what happened?
I'm like, we lost on purpose to make you guys look better. Keep sponsoring us.
We're very old school in the way that we do business. If you go out to golf with us, like Ross said, we will let you win, and we will also let you sleep with our wives.
That first year, I deliberately elbowed a guy from Word-A-Bugs right in the face, like while we were.
Yeah. Horrible app.
And then huge thanks to the Silver Lining Band, because they were great. And a lot of people really enjoyed them.
They did the thing, though, and this is, not a complaint, but the drummer, they're such sweet guys, but they did the thing where he's like, hey, man, I heard you drum. Why don't you get up here and play? And I get... that takes years off my life when people ask me that. I go into an instant anxiety attack.
It's not fun?
I don't know. I'm just like,
because you're worried about not doing good? Or
kind of your crowd, like, play to them, Like,
it's totally, and I love playing drums. I don't know why I have that response. It's weird. It is a weird thing. But I did my freak out, and then he's like, okay, bro. All right, weirdo. I'm sorry. Maybe next time when I work up enough courage.
You should do it, but then make them play, like, Happy Birthday or something. Be like, this is my speed.
Or play a song with no drums and just sit there.
What's a song with no drums?
Like an instrumental, like a nice little singer-songwriter guitar deal.
So
click your drumsticks together and you go like 1, 2, 3, Bush's Glycerine.
Yes, yes, glycerine, perfect.
So I do want to ask Ross about this weekend, and I got permission to talk about it from the. I'm going to call him the.
I love talking about the weekend.
The new DeLand Crazy Boot Millionaire.
Oh, Crazy
Boot! That's a nice handle to put on him. That we can like easily just spit out.
Yeah, Crazy Boot is back.
So there's a listener of ours that has, and he's been a listener for a while, but he's come around recently in the past year or so. He was on our cruise, and he is I'll just say he's rich, and I don't know how rich, but I know how much money he does throw around, and for charity. I know he was at Mo DeWitt's bowling tournament, and he donated a lot to charity for there, and he had hired Ross to put together a comedy show for his birthday.
That's awesome.
And it was unique in the fact that it was like you had a big budget, and we were talking to you like in the past couple weeks about you putting this show together for him, and it's interesting anytime you have a Crazy Boot Millionaire because they're mysterious.
Yeah.
And it's not
very
like
disarming.
It's nothing like we usually experience, because no one, throws around this kind of money for various things. It was almost like it's
even our rich friends don't.
Yeah, they so how was it, Ron? Because I'm curious, how'd the show go?
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like on the radio and like with time limits, I don't know. We can't even begin to get into it. It was so, yeah, it was a really good show. Where do you want to start?
Well, you rented out a venue for him.
What
you had catering.
What are we calling him?
Crazy Boots.
Yeah, Crazy Boot
Boots.
Millionaire.
Yeah.
The new Crazy Boot Millionaire.
CB. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, he approached me on the cruise.
Yeah.
And like, this is just to give you an idea of scale. I don't want to talk about like the actual money involved, but like it might as well be. He came to me on the cruise. He said, I'm having a birthday party coming up in a couple months, and I went to the Mo Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
But if you guys, did you attend the Mo Comedy Jam?
Yes. Yeah.
So you saw that like Bus Decker added so many people that I got to do about like 1 minute up front in front of the
Yeah,
Jam.
Bus Decker's good for stuff like that. He really loves to he's on my list right now. Last week was stuff in those bags. My God.
To be fair, he only added 3 people after he promised me he would stop adding people. So that's he really cut back. And so I got to do about 1 minute at the Mo Comedy Jam. And so this gentleman came up to me on the cruise and said, I went to the Mo Comedy Jam, but, you didn't get to do any time. Do you do comedy? I was like, yeah. It was just, kind of a rush show that night. And he's like, so listen, I'm doing a birthday party, and I want you to do comedy. I want to give you $1 million to come to my birthday party and do comedy that night. And
that's for scale. Right, that's for scale.
But it might as well be.
Correct, yeah. Well,
it's $1 million to Ross.
Tell me if this is wrong. I know... And I agree with this statement, right? Because I mean, it's
for scale. It might as well be. Just like imagine that
and
number.
And there are a few other things I'm thinking of right now that you and I have talked about. I'm like, yes, that's
just it's a nice round number for you to think about. Like just way too much money for me to come and do comedy.
Yeah. It's a chunk of dough. It's a chunk.
A number of like a money where like I would be staying there for 20 minutes like. I don't juggle chainsaws in front of a polar bear. I don't know what you want.
With the amount of money you
for
gave
this
me,
much money.
I mean, you want to mock hunt me down with a paintball gun? Also,
or involves like maybe the glory hole.
I'll watch whatever you want me to watch. Anything. Yeah.
Later on, I didn't bring in more comics, and one comic did say, "Does this involve being hunted by a dog?" It's that much money.
Yeah.
And so he said, "Yeah, birthday party. I want to hire you $1 million for 20 minutes." And I was like, that's way too much. That's we can definitely work something out.
Yep. And now Ross did an interesting thing where he said he'd do it, but for less money because that's what he'd feel comfortable doing it for. And me and Daniel yelled at you and said, "No, you should have took the money."
Yeah, well, let's be
no
honest.
offense to Crazy Moon, listener.
I'm the big talker here.
Steal your money.
I'm not in this scenario, but I like to think. I always big talk it, and I say take the maximum amount. That is always my role in any of these type of conversations. I've always been that way, right? I always yell, take all the money.
Yeah, but I feel you in the fact that I also would get uncomfortable if someone because there also was points in time where
you set up obligations in your own mind.
At some point, the rubber's going to hit the road. I'm going to have to take the stage and provide $1 million worth of entertainment. And I'm going to be honest with you, don't have it in me.
Yeah. We're just like the market. You're way above market value here.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm stealing from you.
Is it the idea of like not delivering and then the person coming up and saying like, hey, you didn't deliver, and you have to be okay with saying, well, I did my best or something, right? I did. That was what you got.
I did my 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Give me my.
You got to die on the hill.
Give me my bag with a dollar bill sign on it.
Yeah, exactly. That is hard. That is a hard conversation to have.
I would equate it to if someone came and like, I want to advertise, and then offered us 10 to 20 times our rate.
We do this. We'll back people down and be like, hold on a second. You're ahead of yourself here.
And then just be like, what you're paying, I wouldn't feel comfortable you paying us because our rate is here. Now we could set you up with a package to give you, but like you're paying way too much and it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Which is weird if the person's like, no, I want to
but
do
there is a part of
me. It's weird.
There's also a part of me that hates and mocks you saying, it makes me feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? There is a part of me that when I hear you say, even though I'm agreeing with you, and even though I have that inside of me too, the whole like, it makes me uncomfortable.
Because we live in the same world where some chic will pay Beyonce $10 million for her to sing at her birthday party. And then so that's more than she usually charges for one song for a small group of people. But And then she takes it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the Sheik's happy. Everybody's happy. So what the hell are we so uncomfortable
But she
about?
could make that doing like a stadium too. It's like just to narrow it down to one guy a little bit more.
Yeah.
This comedy show I'm putting, I'm not going to get $1 million at Gregory's on a Friday night. You know,
Yeah. There's no other way for you to even make. You're right. And then for us too.
The place is called Gregory's.
Gregory's is a really good venue. I love Gregory's.
But I'm just saying it's not going to happen.
That's my point. Is that like a good venue on a good night with staff and stuff? I'm not going to make $1 million.
There's no world in which I could actually make this anywhere. So
No
so like,
multiverse.
that's what I'm telling you.
No.
Exactly.
So, but you negotiated a more fair rate, which shows you
mean,
that Ross, how good of a person Ross is, because
Well,
I think other
he
people
doesn't
would
take
have.
advantage of people.
Yeah, like other people would have probably. I know other comics.
I
in
would
town
like to
would have
think that I
probably
would
just
take it
took
all.
whatever.
I'd like to think that I would take it all.
Yeah. I won't name them, but I know some comics that they'll take whatever you give them. Anyway.
And and first of all, like another thing, because like you guys had other interactions with him, and kind of painted him as Crazy Boots millionaire. So I didn't know this guy at this point real well. And one thing,
He's a good dude.
He came up to me on the cruise, and he had his son with him, and his son was like, "Hello, nice to meet you, sir," and like. So a good kid it carries a lot of weight with me. His son was respectful and obviously a good kid. So I was like, at that point, I was like, $1 million is a little bit much for a birthday party gig. But I'll tell you what, like we're all crazy on this boat. I get it. Like I don't know, it's like 8 a.m. I've had 6 Jack and Cokes already. So I get you. Like $1 million for a birthday party might sound good on the boat, but like hit me up off the boat and we'll talk. We'll work something out. And he's like, okay, cool. This is the one social media I have. I'll hit you up on there. I was like, perfect, do it. And so we got off the boat. A couple days later, I was like, why didn't I get his phone number? I was like, that guy wanted to give me $1 million to do like 20 minutes of comedy at his birthday party, and I didn't even get his phone number. What the hell is wrong with me? And then he finally did hit me up on the media he gave me.
You must have been waiting. You're like, please, because now, because what if he starts to, like what if he said that drunk and then they forgets about it?
Absolutely. I made a huge mistake. I put it right in the Roop file with like mistakes I've made with Tommy and Associated Millionaires.
There's a lot of them. It's hard to keep track of all of them.
So he hit me up, and by this point, I'd had enough time to come up with a plan, which was like, listen, if you have $1 million budget for your birthday, let's take $500,000, let's split it 4 ways. You want me for whatever reason, great, and I'll bring in 3 other comics, and we'll do a great show for you. And you got $500,000 to blow on a birthday, like other stuff and stuff. And he's like, okay, great, that sounds good. Would you help me plan it? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And so I book, and we kind of wanted an emphasis on Florida comedy. So I brought in like my favorite from Jacksonville, Will Blaylock. I brought in my favorite from Miami, Dr. Anna Lepley. You guys have had her in. I think you had Will in maybe 100 years ago.
We have Blaylock, yeah.
And then from Ireland, I brought in Sean Finnerty. He lives in Orlando.
Yeah, but I do like, international show, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, so that's a great show. And maybe $250,000 a person is a little bit much for that show. But like it's under budget, and like you got a bunch more money to throw at this party. And so that kind of is where we started off. And I got lucky. I got my first 3 pick. That was my first 3 right off the bat. That was because I was kind of making up my mind. I was like, for this much money, and for me not knowing what's gonna happen. Like, is it gonna be Crazy Boot Millionaire and his immediate family, like 5 people, or is it gonna be what it turned out to be 110 of his closest friends and family in an open air tent next to the Stetson Mansion in DeLand?
So really?
Oh my God! I'm not even allowed in that area. My God, I'm a lifer of that.
Okay.
So, but
I've never even been there.
Not even knowing that, I had to make up my mind, like, who are 3 people I can bring in that can destroy in front of any crowd? Like, from 5 to 500, who can I bring in? So those are 3. I made up my mind right off the bat, got them all 3, got it locked in, and then we started planning the event, and it came down to, we could either do this generic venue that kind of I have access to in town with the system and tables and stuff already set up, or we could do it in the yard of the historic Stetson Mansion in DeLand. And I was like, either way for me, but like if I have a choice,
Yeah,
dope,
but
man.
but that entails like putting together a custom event is like now you got to get a tent, a sound system, chairs, like all like you know
you're gonna have to rent some stuff. I'm
yeah,
guessing.
yeah. There's a lot of like a mobile bar and like the different things. You start thinking. I know
you're gonna have to get
planning,
little people for bartenders.
yeah, they love that.
Oh, they
Millionaires
love that. We're doing that this year, by the way. 2025. We're doing a party that's all little people bartenders.
And so
I'll bartend. I'll do it.
And
that's
so
the only way we can do it. Pull it off.
the gentleman you started referring to as Crazy Beast Millionaire, he starts enlisting me for a lot of these details. And at every point, he's like, just take care of the sound system for me. I'll throw you another $50,000.
Yeah.
Okay?
What?
On the scale that we've established
He
of $1
wanted me
million.
to purchase a sound system?
So not even just like scope it out for him and let him know which one to get and stuff like, which is a whole, I'm saying we don't have time for all of this.
Yeah.
It's like, do you help me out with that, by the way, Dan?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I didn't know you. Oh, sounds good. I mean, I must not help that much. Like, how much help do you need if you have $50,000?
So you're buying a whole PA, which I'm curious to like.
Again, a whole that could be a confrontation of the week in and of itself. I swear to God.
Yeah. So this is just layers.
I'm curious, like when you get a PA just for stand up, is there any specifications you need beyond like you want to make sure
There
like
are.
Tom,
obviously
Tom,
you
you're putting your toe in an Olympic-sized swimming pool
Yeah.
with me. I'm telling you, it's a whole thing.
I know a little bit about this part.
It might
and,
even be like another ACT segment or whatever. But again, 20 minutes on just that. And so you rent a tent. At one point, he was like, do you know through Craig, Power Spot Craig, do you know a good tent guy? And I was like, no. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
There's
They're all
no
bad.
such thing.
Are they all bad?
The Power Spot guy, whoever he uses, has put up our tent upside down. They have,
It's like Wonderworks.
they have put the wrong tent up before, and that ends up being what happens at the Historic Stetson Mansion on the night of the show. They put up the wrong tent.
It was one of the only things that Russ ever told me that he was honest about. People that put up tents are always on drugs. He told me that. Russ Rollins told me that. Because he used to do that.
The tent business, the bounce house business, and the tow truck business are all, and the repo business, they're all somehow Venn diagrammed together. I don't know.
I know one really nice bounce house guy, but he doesn't mess with tents.
I don't know. You would think like there's a lot of upscale events that need some good tents, but downscale people.
He's got bars. Upscale.
So you get a huge tent.
Dude, we're skipping so far ahead.
Okay, sorry.
Let's see. We
Sound system is
I
acquired.
get my line. No, the sound system I feel comfortable with day of event. We're skipping so far ahead. And so we make up our minds finally. The Stetson house is going to be, the Stetson mansion, which, by the way, is decorated for Christmas.
It looks gorgeous.
So cool, dude.
Yeah.
Did you know that was the first house in Florida with electricity?
I did.
Oh, really?
Thomas Edison wired it. The Thomas Edison Company. Thomas Edison came to Florida.
It's like a solo job,
and wired it. And I skipped this part. I was busy doing stuff, but Finnerty and Will Blaylock got to go into the house and see they still have the original fuse breaker box that Edison installed, dude, with wiring that Edison put in there. It's so
Castleberry Thomas Edison wired my house. A couple years he's a medium. Smells like fish.
Thomas E. Dyson.
His name is Fred Edison.
So the DeLand, the historic DeLand mansion,
Dude,
Stetson mansion.
Again, I could do a whole nother segment about that. My introduction to it is we do a walkthrough the Sunday before the event. And I go pulling into it. I became convinced that I was being pranked on an elaborate level.
Did you get anxiety? Were you like, oh shit? like what? Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Sorry, I keep doing that. My God, man. Were you like, oh my God, like why is this happening to me? Like, or is this not gonna pan out? Or what if this is like some sort of fake thing?
When I arrived at Camp Lane and I pulled up to the gates of the historic Stetson Mansion and maneuvered my Subaru through the gap in the 20-foot walls to enter the property, I became convinced I was part of an elaborate prank and I was going to be assailed by security, obviously. Like, this is, there's no way I'm doing a comedy show at this place.
It looks like the Clue house for people. Yeah, it's very fancy. It's white with big columns.
And every window on the top floor is the most beautiful stained glass window you've ever seen in your life. It's amazing. This guy made hats, made money, and made a house and a university, and God only knows what else. Amazing. So this house, the property, so beautiful. The house, amazing. And they got a little shed to the side with a patio on it that can accommodate a tent that will fit 110 people.
Okay.
And so that's where we set up.
Is it like it's probably a popular wedding venue and stuff, right? Yeah.
I mean, I believe
weddings, graduations.
Not everybody. I don't think it's very. I mean, we didn't. My point is, not everybody gets access to it.
All right.
Is what I'm saying. Like it's pretty exclusive to. I've only been in that place one time. Only once.
Well, you should maybe go take a tour because they run tours all day, every day now.
It's cool.
That's their main money maker. So
wasn't it the residence for the or maybe I'm mixing up houses. I thought it was that was used as the residence for the dean of the college at one time.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. Now
That
maybe
makes
they don't
perfect
do
sense.
that anymore. So if he moved out and now they're doing tours, that would be pretty awesome.
They got the main house. They got a little schoolhouse
Yeah.
over to this. I think it's DeLand's original schoolhouse. Such a cool property, Tom. I can't even get in. And yeah, long story short, it fell into disrepair at some point. A couple guys found it, rehabbed it, sold it to your cowboy millionaire or whatever you're calling him.
Oh.
And he has like some friends in an investment group. They own it now, and they run tours. And apparently, like the villages will just run buses from the villages to the Stetson Mansion, and people retirees are coming in $40 a pop all day, every day, touring this place.
Really?
Dude, we got to buy some old house. Steal a bunch of old people's money.
I mean,
Old people love looking at old stuff that they used to like when they were young.
And again, like on what were we talking? Like on a Saturday night in late November when we were doing this event, I pulled up way early to set up, and the parking lot was full. There's 45 like cars there, people doing tours. And again, but it might be a little exciting because Christmas time they got like. And I got there like around dusky. They got all the lights on. It's all like imagine the Clue House dressed up for Christmas.
Yeah, it's nice.
Amazing with like Thomas Edison's Christmas bulbs and stained glass all lit up. It's so pretty, dude.
Super old Florida too, and I know you like that kind of
so
stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
So Ross, I'm
And
curious.
that's just the house. The property, they got a putting green. You can practice putting. They got a little. They got Tom, you like pergolas? They got pergolas everywhere, dude.
Yeah, they do.
Unlimited pergola?
Yeah.
Around the pool.
And
there's
a lot of gazebos
there's
too.
so
Yeah.
many pergolas, Tom.
Pergolas, gazebos everywhere.
And then my personal favorite, which became like the comedy green room, was like on one side of the kind of by the old schoolhouse. If you're familiar with the Stetson Mansion property, there's a bamboo garden. There's like a little windy bamboo garden with all these bamboo stands. So pretty, perfect place to smoke weed. It's amazing.
So I'm curious, Ross, because I know the pressure of setting up events, and because you start running through your mind every possible. Because there's nothing worse than, I mean, this happened to us at OLE, is finding yourself day of when there's nothing that can be done, and you realize something horrible has been forgotten, and then there's nothing you do, and then everybody's there. So.
Yeah.
Leading up to it, how was the pressure for you? Because it seems like he put you in charge of setting all this up, and now you're putting together a custom, comedy show in a tent, and you got to make sure that you have everything, right?
Comedy show, sort of at the end of what is. So here's the night. 6 to 7 is like arrival at the Stetson Mansion / shrimp, oyster, and caviar reception around the pool.
Okay, well, there's a
Holy crap, dude!
you brought in like some sort of catering company, the seafood.
Oh,
So
God.
the Sunday before
We normally just have double D.
I like a huge table filled with Big Macs.
Everybody likes that. Everybody likes that.
A tower, a
These are
pyramid of
cold.
Big Macs. Cold Big Macs. That's a my style.
I do like a cold Big Mac.
when they used to do that giant Mac, remember
Yeah,
the giant
I do
Mac?
remember
I
the
would
Giant
get a
Mac.
couple of those, throw
Have
one
you
in the
tried a
fridge.
chicken Big Mac?
No,
I will say the chicken Big Mac is the better of the cold sandwiches if you have them cold.
So you've got appetizer hour with the drinks and the oysters.
You say
by the pool.
appetizer hours so casually. So the Sunday before the event, we do a walkthrough at the historic Stetson Mansion, and we determined at that time probably not a good idea to bring in Pyrospot fireworks for the display that we had planned.
10,000 panes of antique glass in that house.
And also,
Yeah, I just read that online.
100% would have set it on fire. There's no question at all.
It's dry, very dry house.
We would have set the mansion on fire. So we canceled the fireworks event, but then we went, Crazy Cowboy Boot Millionaire was like, hey, you want to get some lunch real quick since you came all the way to land for this? I was like, yeah, sure.
Let's go to the strip club.
He's like, the guy who's going to do the oysters for the party is set up around the corner. Let's go check it out. This guy, Mike, Mike's Oysters, he's got his little stand set up. We'll go check it out. So we go, and I didn't get to eat much the day of because I'm a don't eat before our shower, But that walkthrough day, we went to Mike's Oysters and he gave us like a selection of stuff to pick out, and my pick was, which I think he said day of, we went through 300 oysters. I was like, do that raw oyster with that bump of caviar on it and pickled shallots.
I do love a pickled shallot,
dude. So that was like kind of the baseline. He had raw oysters. He had lobster claws.
This is way cooler than your gift bags.
He had shrimp. Yeah. He had caviar.
Were there gift bags?
And it was all raw oysters, but he had a setup where he could broil some for you if you wanted some broiled oysters. And again, the caviar was so good. I got to pick the caviar, and I picked it. It was so good.
How much caviar are they pumping out of this place?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Open bar?
Oh, 2 open bars.
2 open bars.
Yes.
Is this the most extravagant comedy jam or comedy deal you've ever put on?
This is the most extravagant anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, I like this. I like the sound of this, Ross. This is amazing.
Because like leading up to it, you're like, is this going to come off? Is this going to be worth all this? And I can assure you, it was worth $1 million.
Yeah, to you, absolutely.
Now, so are you putting together all the other, like the initial cocktail hour and all like the catering and like, is that, or is it basically he's doing some of it and you're just doing the comedy?
He's taking care of pretty much everything else, but like asking me any comedy specific details. For example, this man went and bought a stage, and like
bought a stage,
lighting and. But didn't know what kind of sound system.
Like I know Crazy Boot listens to the show.
Yeah, when we like I've asked Tom, I'm like, buy a stage. He's like, no. Well, just stand in the corner.
There's rental companies for all this. So you're gonna rent a stage.
Yeah, but
we're Orlando bands. That's
I
what
don't
we do.
lease. I buy.
You know what? Now the Stetson Mansion has a stage. If you, I think
we just left it there.
I mean, they are having.
We bought it and left it.
I mean, their annual Christmas Spectacular tour is running now through January 18th of 2025 and has been recognized as the #1 holiday home tour in Florida and #2 in all of America.
What is he going to do with the stage? He's just.
So when I showed up, night of the show, like I said, I showed up early and they were still doing tours.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Santa, and you know how like your wife likes a real Santa?
Yes, we love a real Santa.
Was Santa.
A pretty Santa.
I swear to God, this was Santa.
You gotta have a real beard.
Santa and Mrs. were doing a photo op on the porch. Now that they got a stage, set up a whole stage thing, dude, and make it like a. Yeah.
I love this.
All right, so he bought a stage and lights
and
a
so
PA.
Long story short, I got talked into what I'm going to call a newfangled style PA as opposed to what I'm used to. And boy, dialing it in, and I got it done the morning of the show in my front yard, basically, to where I was comfortable using it open air in a tent, and it did work perfectly. So
nice.
Pat myself on the back for that one.
There you go.
But yeah, so I and again, that's such a long story. Made it super short, and yeah, and then where are we at on we're at like day of, I guess.
Yeah,
at this
point? Day of.
This is the Crazy Boot Millionaire party.
Arrival 6 to 7.
This is for his birthday party, right?
Are you up in your brain at all about like what are you gonna wear or what are these other? I mean, because like it's not a Tom and Dan event now. It's like it's like this sounds like some good stuff.
My main concern is that everybody is able to show up because again, like I booked Far Flung Comics. Everybody making it on day of was a concern for me. But once all the comics were on hand, I was pretty comfortable with how it was going to go.
Now, were they like, what the hell is going on here? Because this is outside the norm of...
Most people don't have a comedy show birthday party.
Now,
pretty cool.
But if they do, we've asked our entire career comics this question about playing private events. And it usually goes poorly because it's you sitting in some millionaire's like living room with no PA and no mic, just telling
jokes to people that don't want to be there.
Talking to the relatives lives, and they're confused about what's going on, and only the millionaire likes the comic, and then it's an awkward thing, and then that's why we like asking the question.
Also, the chat room wants to know if this millionaire is sponsoring the tater tot competition we will be doing.
If I ask him 100%, I'm sure he will.
Okay.
Yes, at this point, there are a lot of red flags. Private events are always questionable. Private events around and a birthday, always questionable. Outside, in a tent, do these people know comedy is going to happen? We have a reception, we're moving to the tent for dinner, and then comedy later. Like, is that even going to happen? Or half the people going to not make it? Like, there are so many red flags and questions as to the event at this point.
Yeah, which would make me nervous as hell because I'm sure you feel the pressure of like this whole it going well is kind of resting a little bit on my shoulders because I've been involved in the planning process.
Which also kind of makes you wish you took that bigger amount of money, right? Then you're like, Daniel was right. I should have taken it all. I've been a greedy, filthy man.
Oh yeah, but then all the pressure would still be on my shoulders. I've kind of distributed the weight a little bit to other comics at least. So
gotcha.
And so here's another factor that I didn't really put into play, that I didn't work into my math of it all. Like, I guess I don't have 110 friends and family. Like, if I threw a birthday party, there's no way I could bring 110 people that I grew up with, that know me, that I lived with, roommates, 110 people showed up.
That's
and
a lot of people.
And it's bigger than most weddings. You know.
There was a little bit of from work. Maybe let's say 20%.
Yeah.
But the remaining people were all friends and family of this crazy cowboy millionaire or whatever you want to call him.
Well, they probably realize they're like, this guy's got money and he's going to put it into a elaborate.
He's crazy. It's going to be a crazy party.
No, it was his mom. His mom came up and was like, hey,
I know her.
I'm so-and-so's mom. And I'm like, oh, nice to meet you.
That lady's
coming
the
out.
best.
I really hope you.
I grew up with her. She's lovely.
Okay, with dick jokes, because there's going to be some later. But great. And then people like that. And
she's
people,
the best.
So. Yeah, his kid was there with other kids, and
by the way, Daniel knows this gentleman from from his childhood.
I do,
and then I think all the time, why couldn't he be my partner? I'd be rich.
I got the sensitive heart one who does the dumb stuff. Could have had the rich one.
But if you then Dan would be off doing his job, and Dan would be rich. Do you understand?
No, in the alternate universe,
his dream, Ross.
You can't.
I just want to belittle Daniel and be rich in my fantasy.
You can't do both things. You can't be Dan and go do this guy's job and make a lot of money. Yeah.
It's the cake. Remember, cake and eat it too. You said that last week.
So
or 2 weeks ago.
So day of, you're 110 people, which I would be skeptical that many people would show up too, because you're just.
But they're there, and are you the final thing for the night?
I get up and we're set up for it. So the tables are there, the too small tent is there, but they've the Stetson House, the Stetson Mansion staff has worked it in, and it's all perfect. And so I'm like, God, I guess there's enough chairs. So that's my first clue. And again, the place is humming with people just taking pictures of Santa, and the place is it might as well be Universal or something. It is DeLand's version of a theme park. There's so damn many people there, doing stuff, taking pictures, walking around. It's insane. It's crazy.
I'm gonna try to put up a photo so everybody can kind of see what.
And those people are just they're essentially tourists that have come to see the
last
house.
Tour I think starts at 5:30. They're out by 6:15. Our guests are coming in at 6. Kind of park, head back to the pool, and then the oyster man starts dispensing what turns out to be later hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of oysters and ounces of caviar, and again lobster claws. I wasn't even brought in on the lobster claws and the shrimp of it all. There was so much stuff. I got a couple plus ones. I brought in Power Spot Craig, and the seafood got his super thumbs up of approval. So that's how yeah.
I mean, for Craig to go to, it must be nice because Craig, he
looks like Mar-a-Lago, man.
He likes the finer things in life.
Insane.
No, once I swear to God, leaving the oyster tasting on Sunday, I texted Craig. I was like, you probably want to come to this one. It's pretty much going to be unlimited oysters. He's there.
All right, so
this is awesome.
So now everybody's enjoying the oysters by the pool and
open bar.
This is nice.
Yeah, man.
And,
it's all lit up for Christmas. Again, Tom, I can't stress how many pergolas there are.
Did you think about this? Could this be the nicest comedy show you'll ever play in your entire life?
Yeah, this is the peak. This is the peak.
I mean, there's a chance that there could nothing.
You haven't heard how the show's gone yet,
Okay,
so we'll keep that on the back burner.
That is true.
It's definitely.
Are you nervous?
100% the nicest green room of all time.
Yeah. Are you nervous?
Maybe there's never been a green room with a pool like this, with unlimited lobster claws,
unlimited lobster
and a man
claws.
you've seen comedy green rooms before. Have you ever seen one with a man scooping caviar onto raw oysters for you and ask you, do you want pickled shallots or not?
That sounds badass.
But I have seen a homeless man wander in and then ask where the booze is.
That was David Jolly. That was not a homeless man. That was David. He's fine. A working comedian.
Did the other comics were they
impressed?
Were they like, what the hell?
Did it give you clout? Like, I would imagine that they came up to you, like especially Will. I can see Will coming up to you being like, "Hey, man, what is this?"
Infinity had to been like, "Oh my god!"
yeah. I mean, he just got married, right? I think he just got back from getting married.
He did. Yeah, he got. I think it was Argentina they went to. They got
Yeah.
married. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, man.
His beautiful wife came out and enjoyed the buffet.
Oh, everybody came out. Everybody but us. We should have gone.
You definitely should go.
So I'm curious too, when you're doing a dinner comedy show, there is some sort of equation about when to do the comedy and when at what point in the dinner, right?
Yeah.
Like, did you know that?
We just kind of we planned 6 to 7 for the cocktail reception, and then like 7 to 8 kind of move them to the tent and get them established eating, and then give them to like 8:30, 8:45, and give them a little brief announcement, and then get started with the comedy show. And startlingly, that's almost exactly what happened. Like the shrimp reception went a little bit long, dinner went a little bit quicker than we anticipated, and so I'll be damned, 8:45, I'm taking the stage. It was crazy.
All right. And so you get on stage, and when people are sitting at dinner tables, there's also, I mean, when me and Daniel hosted like Orlando City Awards,
hear, like the food.
It's awkward because they're usually round tables, and then so the people that would be eating dinner with your back, or you're looking at their back, they have to turn around in their chair in an awkward way.
I've always hated doing that.
Yeah, and then everybody's like also.
You know what? I'll eat and not look at the entertainment sometimes.
and then also there's like a little bit distracted by their food, and then the so it's like, do we stop and just?
You get that weird thing if you're sitting
weird.
like me. I remember I sat with my mom. She's like teacher of the year, and I sat there, and then up on the stage was to the right, so I got this weird crick in my neck from watching the thing like this the whole time.
But with other award shows, that's a popular thing to do with their at round tables or whatever. So how was and
get them all drunk so they're nice and loose too,
okay,
whatever. But let's go back to 15 minutes before showtime.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the most nerve-wracking time, of course, and everybody's even like when the shrimp starts to go a little bit late, that's a little bit nerve-wracking. We kind of start to make the transition. We get them over. And there's a little bit back and forth about like what time things are going to start. And at a certain point, one of the guests comes up to me and says before the show, we want to take you out back into the bamboo garden and get you high. And so I was like, yeah, let's do that.
Because that helps anxiety.
It's good for you.
I know.
Also, I made the decision,
in a bamboo garden, smoking weed with someone.
Yeah. Anybody.
Also, this is $1 million show. I'd made a decision not to drink for this show, to stay dry. But then there were 2 open bars, and I just started getting Crown Royal and Cokes every time I walked by.
Yeah.
Oh, lost in the bamboo.
I do that sometimes, and then after.
Kung Fu Panda.
I say, I'm going to stay sober for this. But then I remember, I'm like, oh, drinking, I feel, makes me better.
Yeah. I think we were going to do that yesterday.
Yeah. Then I forget. I'm like, oh, a couple
we carried
drinks.
the table over, and I put the buckets on there, and I just grabbed a Bud Light. I'm like, well, looks like I'm in.
I could do anything drunk.
Yeah.
That's what I tell myself.
This is just a case of like 2 open bars, and I'm walking past them constantly. How can you not? And, and they had the booze out, and I'm a Jim Beam guy, but like Crown Royal is close as they got, so I'm drinking Crown Royal and Coke. And off in the bamboo with these 2 guys, we have a toot circle, and then as it's getting to be showtime, but I have lost my fanny pack with my drugs in it.
Okay,
Oh,
drug
no.
fanny pack. I'm
Yeah.
very familiar with
And
that.
you lost it. And you lost it in the Edison Tour area.
A couple of joints in my fanny pack, and I'm like, oh my God, I lost my fanny pack. And like my main concern is like there's kids about. Like what if I left my fanny pack and some kids find it and they're off getting high in the old schoolhouse?
Should we pause and leave it a little bit of a cliffhanger?
Oh, cliffhanger.
Yeah, let's pause and then we come back.
Yeah,
after.
we will find out which kid ate all of the drugs in the fanny pack.
It was Thomas Edison's great-great-grandchild. No. We'll be back after Fairvilla with more the ending to Ross's Crazy Boot Millionaire custom comedy show we put on. All right, we'll be back.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
All right, Ross, so what's happening next?
All right, so you guys remember it looked like I'd gone off the cliff, but actually I jumped off the motorbike and grabbed a root. And I
do that.
I love grabbing the root.
Yeah, always grab the root.
And then you don't know you're hanging there by the root until the person starts crying, and then they walk over to the cliff, and then they see
my
you down
fingers
there.
come up from above and like slam down.
Yeah. That's a strong-ass root.
So I'd lost my drug bag. And I knew we had the toot circle. I went to the stage and made like a 15-minute announcement. And then I was like, better get one more in. Can't find my drugs. So I'm like looking around for my fanny pack for a while. And I'd like going to do my third lap around the bamboo garden maybe when I realize I'm wearing it. It was right in my defense. It was riding a little bit high. It was on my person.
Hell yeah, that's how high you were in the bamboo garden.
That's called so high the glasses were on my head the whole time.
Maybe even worse. So that
you ever gotten
happened.
so high that you didn't remember you smoked and you're holding it?
Yes,
I do that. I do that sometimes. I'll smoke and I'll be like, I should get high. Already there. Already there. Already there.
I call it the weed paralysis game. You smoke until your fingers won't pack the bowl anymore. They just won't.
Yeah.
Right when I'm taking that weed pill, I'm like, wait a minute, did I just do this 2 seconds ago?
You've done it.
And then I'm like, should I give it a second?
No, it doesn't hurt you.
Yeah. Then I'm freaking out later. I'm like, oh, I did do that.
Like extra vitamin C.
All right.
So let's talk about that. So the reason you don't drink or smoke before you get on stage is because like while there is a sweet spot, if you miss the sweet spot, man, you're a mess on stage. And so showtime comes, and I was in the sweet spot. I got so lucky.
Okay.
I got so goddamn lucky. I was right in the sweet spot. Can I say that? I don't even know what you said, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right in the sweet spot. Took the stage. A little bit of crowd work. Roasted a couple kids up front just to get us started. It's material, but like I'm working stuff
what
in
are you
with
doing,
people
playing
in the crowd.
Roblox? F you! That's not even a joke, but just I like you yelling at some like
crazy,
like a real
nephew.
baby. That's the ugliest baby I've ever seen.
And again, like I was just in the zone, and it went really well. My kids were there, my wife was there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
everybody there.
Great. Had a really decent set, and like more importantly, as a host, got them to right where they needed to be. I was like, man, they're ready for the next comic right now. And so I was like, thank you, good night. Here's Will Blaylock from Jacksonville. Brought Will up. Will immediately starts destroying, and again, like. It's hard to describe because it's the first time it's ever happened to me, but there was an audience of like 100-some people, and with the exception of like the few I brought in and my family at the back, these people all know each other pretty well, like from growing up together, from working together, from knowing our millionaire. They're all, and like to answer your question about like the round tables, nobody gave a hoot. I don't think I got the consonant in there. That clipping everyone wants to get that one. Nobody gave a hoot, and they just turned their seats. A lot of people were standing and like just having a smoke and a drink because we're outside, and like just the most casual audience I've ever seen, but like united in a weird way with this like commonality. And so like, you know, anytime you reached out to the audience, they were like, "Oh my gosh, he's talking to Aunt Beth." You know, like they
knew each other,
and so it was such a cool dynamic. And Will played right into that, and to Dr. Anna Lepley did too, and like destroyed my oldest son. I think would like if she ran for office, he would leave and be her campaign manager or whatever. He fell in love with her, and then Finnerty. I think there might be people who still can't stand because their knees are too weak from Finnerty's set. He just got up there.
So the environment was ready. I mean, it was
perfect. Such a good crowd. Great. And I got the right comics for the right night, and it just went so well. It was amazing. Yeah, it was It was an event.
That's killer.
It was an event.
Those private shows are really an all or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you never really get a mid one. It's either the worst or in this situation
or it'll
the
never
best.
be duplicated. It was so good.
And this was like such a perfect storm of like people. The seafood was so good. They came over. There was a buffet of I think every animal, and with sides. For example, like they had lobster mac and cheese, which Craig LaFleur, I think, may have stolen some of. It was that good. And then, as Will Blaylock pointed out, why did they even have regular mac and cheese? They had regular mac and cheese, too.
And now, me and Daniel got invited to this.
We did.
And this was Saturday, though, for a beer fest. And it started this. It was like we needed. Our beer fest doesn't end until like after 5, and then we got to stay there after a little bit to make sure
everything's done. We're rolling in around 7-ish, maybe.
You know, and because we get to our beer fest at 10 a.m., I told Crazy Boot, I was like, I'm sorry, we're a huge event that we can't make it or whatever. But I contemplated making it because I am like, it's probably, but I was scared because I was like, what if it went horribly? I know Ross put this together.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, I don't want the awkwardness.
Oh, like showing up and you're like, oh, this is it. Like everything's terrible. And Ross is like, I can't talk to you now. I got to find Will Blaylock. He's like, running around.
His mom is crying. Yeah.
Because, like,
half the tent, I feel like, should deflate. Right, like it'd fall over.
In a worst case scenario, tent falls down.
Because we've talked about these private events so many times with comics that I've only heard horror stories.
But maybe that's why Ross's went so well is that he has seen.
He knew what to
He's seen and
avoid.
heard everything that's gone wrong for all of these, and he's like, well, just don't do any of that.
And also, I was involved with the behind the scenes of it. Like he was consulting me like every step of the way. It was like, should we have a stage? And like all the stuff that could have gone wrong, I kind of counteracted beforehand, except for the stuff that was out of my equations or whatever.
Yeah. So you knew, and because
it wasn't like
you were just showing up blind, with the comics
to some show covered in soda with bees all over it or whatever. Like, for example,
And the fact that everybody was receptive, you didn't which makes sense. Like it's not like you're gonna have a tent full of hecklers.
I mean, it could have gone that way. Who knows?
I don't think so. I think they wanted it just because like maybe he had said like, oh, it's my birthday comedy shows. I don't know. I mean, I'm just glad it went so well.
In my family, if like of the 20 or so people that might show up, if I like went to extreme measures, like I don't know, half of them might heckle. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome that it went so well, and because I was nervous for you.
You're gonna do it again.
There was some like some people were like, "You guys should do comedy here all the time." I was like, "Yeah, we should. You guys should call me and let's do that."
In this scenario, though, it's perfect. But you take out the
wild amount of work.
You take out the
unlimited
bar.
lump crab meat, and I don't know if it works.
There's a nice tent. A budget for good comics. Like you start taking all that, whittling it away.
Yeah, you don't want to be hiding in the bamboo garden when people are mad.
To make money out of any of this, we're gonna have to downgrade a lot, and then it's not as good.
The real heroes were Bill and Frank and everybody at the historic Stetson Mansion. I know that those two guys and their staff. They just like.
Is that the twins?
So much work. I didn't know how much we could get into, but yeah, the day of the walkthrough,
twins, right?
the day of the walkthrough, I met Bill. And Bill is 7.5 feet tall. He's a man of solid muscle. Like in the handshakes I've ever received, maybe top 3 firmest of all time. Like crushing handshake. And so like we meet him and like we're walking through, and he was the one that was, by the way, no fireworks. And then nobody wanted to argue with the Man Mountain, so with fireworks off the table. And like while we're doing our walkthrough, he's like picking lint out of the bushes of the Stetson Mansion. That's like how into this place he is.
I wouldn't do that.
And so they were, and I was like, all right, see you day of Bill. And they were like, by the way, you're gonna meet his twin brother Frank. And I was like,
yeah, and they look identical. They're muscle bar guys.
I was like, there's no way. And then so day of, I like walk up to the stage, and Bill was up there setting up. I was like, hey, what's up, Bill? And he's like, oh, I'm Frank. And he points at Bill, and I was like, I like did a cartoon double take. It is like they're twin giants run that mansion.
They have owned They've owned like every bar that I went to as a young man in DeLand.
And now they run the Stetson Mansion, and it's immaculate, dude. Go take a tour. I highly recommend it.
There you go. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad it went well, man.
Oh,
well done.
Yeah. He called me the next day. He said he was having a family get together, and like it was it's a lot of the same people, and he's like all anybody is talking about is that show.
That's killer.
So I've been thinking about this.
You want to do this for your birthday? You
No,
hate
no,
being
no.
the center of attention. I think
No,
you'd
no.
hate that.
No.
What's the equivalent of the Stetson Mansion in Miami?
Well, in Castleberry, I think you got to do it in Castleberry.
Oh, okay.
You got to do it at the Hooters.
Joe Castleberry's cabin.
There's an abandoned,
B-dub-dub.
like commercial parking lot near my house that the elephant ear truck set up.
I love that. Those elephant ears
And
are
we can do it
banger.
at the elephant ear parking lot.
Let's
You know what? When's your birthday? Because like, there's gonna be a few days after New Year's where like Craig's out of the fireworks tent, but the tent's still set up. We could just do it in the Pirate Spot tent in the Big Lots parking lot
let's do that.
in Longwood. That's real close to
the
Cowboys.
homeless people. Like yelling, "Get the hell out of here! It's a private birthday party."
I'm like asking Craig, I'm like, can we use your tent for 6 hours before you
We booked some comedians.
There's still like some firework trash left over.
Yeah.
I should book the same comedians and tell them it's another tent show and just let them roll up to that.
We've got one Jersey Mike's party sub.
Oh, dude, and we didn't even get into the after party. So like, yeah, after the show, Stetson Man, we like, still open bar for a little bit and everybody kind of filters out. But Will Blaylock's is like basically, I think he eats every meal at Perkins. I don't know that he eats outside of a Perkins. He loves Perkins.
Okay.
And there's a Perkins 2 miles away. So we took the after party to the Perkins. And so we all kind of roll up to the Perkins. A lot of people broke off because every cop in DeLand was in the Perkins parking lot for some reason. So it kind of became
That's weird.
a filter of who was comfortable parking at the Perkins under those circumstances, and people who were like, I should probably just go home given how many cops there are in the Perkins parking lot. So like that kind of filtered a lot of people out. We ended up at the Perkins, and we ordered a lot of Perkins food, but I don't know how you are, Tom, as a performer, but comics are kind of 50-50. A lot of them like to house 2 or 3 burritos before a show and go up like full belly and like comfortable like that. But me and some other, like 50% of other performers, and for example, Dr. Anna Lepley, we're like, don't eat before showers.
Yes.
We're like, you want to go up a little bit hungry, like empty inside, and like, but not. Like, I get logy. If I eat before a show, I get logy and I can't do it.
Yeah.
And so she made an arrangement with Oyster Mike. And we, once we got paid, we tipped well enough that Oyster Mike hooked us up with like 2 giant tin trays of oysters and the leftover caviar and like some of what all shrimp and stuff that was always left over. So we had like a mixed meal of Perkins and raw oysters in the middle of the DeLand Perkins after the show. And caviar.
That's so Castleberry.
Will
of you
Blaylock
to eat
tried
the oysters in the middle of the Perkins. I like that.
Will Blaylock tried his first caviar, does not like it. And
it's very salty.
we had so many oysters that we couldn't even finish them. We gave some to the waitress.
Oh, I like that.
What's always been interesting to me about Crazy Boot Millionaires, and I've encountered many throughout
People
my
are going to
career.
ask what a Crazy Boot millionaire is.
Well,
is it a Southern millionaire man?
It started with a joke back in the radio days. There was a guy who won the lottery, and then he was getting robbed all the time at strip clubs and stuff,
Yeah.
and he'd carry around absurd amount of cash, and then then his family was all dying off because the money.
Well, money is bad. It can be. It can be bad. It can poison families.
And so there was constant stories with this guy who won money, and then I just kind of described like rich people that have an amount of money where, of course, it's not unlimited, but it's an amount where they don't really care about the last 2 decimal points, if that makes sense. Like like when it comes to rounding to the 10,000th, you know what I'm saying? So like with one of us would be concerned about like $5,500 would be like, whoa, like, that would be
that's a lot of dough.
Yeah. So but like, I can't just be flippant with $5,500. I know that's a stupid amount of money that I picked, but it's like that kind of shows you like with these Crazy Boots that's
a nothing.
That's a nothing, and it gets now couple 100,000 they may be like, hey, what but
slow down a little bit. Yeah,
when it's in the tens of thousands, it kind of doesn't matter because
they're a little reckless with the 5s and 10s.
That decimal point in their bank account, it doesn't matter. It ebbs and flows so much that it's so then their luxury of not caring about tens of thousands of dollars is a weird thing for us
Yeah,
and
I'm not
anybody
like that.
probably
I wasn't raised like that.
a lot of people listening to this.
Yeah.
So then it always fascinated me that these people exist. And now, like, some people could be just as rich, but they're rich, cheap people. And those those are not crazy boots.
You're not going to hear about those people.
Yeah, there's plenty.
They're not
of those.
spending their money.
Yeah, they like they don't throw around as money. They're not as fun for me.
No.
But the crazy boots,
I do like when they buy some reckless stuff.
that throw around money like this, and just every time you see them throw around money, that it's always fascinated me.
And you've always called them crazy boot millionaires.
And you're right and you're wrong in that, like, this guy not rich from a lottery. Like, lottery is kind of that.
Yeah, no, he
works.
owns a company.
He
and
works
he
he works his fingers to the bone for this money that he throws around. But to your point, he did the call he made after the show that day was like, he was like, "Did I pay you the right amount?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." He's like, "But what about all those times I said I give you $50,000 to do the sound system, or like come taste the oysters with me, or whatever? I got like $200,000 extra here that I didn't give you. I think." And I was like, "Don't even. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
The $250,000 was fine."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're good.
For what I did,
all
you
square. All square.
Yeah.
So that's where.
And again, that's on the scale we established of $1 million scale, which is not what I got for the show. It's just for exaggeration and to prove
we're
a
not
point.
using real numbers.
So there's a part in all this, and this person, I text this person every once in a while. He's also
we also cleared it so we could talk about that.
He's also given me a couple like computers for my sons and things like that he was throwing. Like he was like
insanely
he's
ridiculous
like,
things.
my son doesn't play this gaming computer. Like, do you want it?
Yeah.
And then I was
Here's
like,
a $5,000 computer with a Samsung Curve.
Loading it into my trunk.
With a 36-inch Samsung Curve monitor. The Curve monitor's bigger than the TV in my bedroom.
Like an Alienware video game computer that I gave Max, which also
thing is liquid cooled.
I understand.
This guy's in there watching X videos on it. It's a liquid cool Alienware. He's in there on YouPorn.
By the way, this is a sad part of my career, and I'll be honest about this.
When you're stealing stuff from our listeners?
No.
The bear suit?
When in the early part of my radio career, the crazy boots were always 20 years older than me.
Yeah, they would give you stuff.
And they were old men. And
your first TV.
And then I was like, well, these rich old men, it's easier to take me, But when they're 1 year younger than you.
It's embarrassing taking a young man's money.
It is embarrassing.
It's embarrassing taking a young man's money.
This birthday we celebrated this weekend was a birthday I celebrated 5 or 10 years ago.
You're like this.
Oh, I get it more than you do because I've been performing in this town for 30 years. So the people they'll give me things, and it's like they're taking pity on the little old man.
Yeah. Well, Daniel doesn't. He in his career and currently doesn't really play around with this. He doesn't want it. He doesn't. Yeah. But I am inclined to.
It's in your blood.
Lean towards taking it. Although now at 42.
What do you want now?
And I'm a business owner.
What do you want?
I made a couple dollars. I shouldn't be still inclined to be like taking money that's seemingly kind of like overpaying me, where it's like crosses into charity almost, when it's like, one thing is like they're paying you to put together a show. There was a point in this whole thing where the Crazy Boot offered Ross $1,000 to get me and you to go to his event. He's like, I love the Dominator.
I get the $1,000?
And then I was like, wait a minute. And then I was like, I was gonna text him.
You
and
give me $100 of that, I'd have been there.
I was like, for $500.
You give me $50 of that, I'd have been there.
I may leave the beer fest early and drive up there.
For $1,000, I just skipped our entire beer fest. I don't need to be there. I don't need to be there.
But then I was like, it's cheesy.
And I love hanging out with Ross. The last time we went out, we had a freaking amazing time. Dude, the Baby Metal concert was rad.
Like, I'm not gonna take $500 from a guy to go to his
birthday. I would take it.
Well, he owes you
$500. There is a. I want something really stupid. They make a Solo Stove. Makes this Frank Lloyd Wright looking like. It's like a very mod-looking indoor fireplace that uses just gel.
Wow.
And so you can burn it inside, but it crackles like a fireplace. I think it's like $600, and it's like me and Maisie, we look at it, we're like, oh, we want that fireplace so bad. And we keep looking at it. Oh, I could have used the money for that.
Oh, those are cool. I just bought one on Amazon.
Yeah. You got to get a boot millionaire.
Wait, he's there. He also offered us money.
Yeah.
But the problem is that I feel
You're
like
too chicken
I'm
ass.
like, I don't want to take the money at this point in my career because I don't want people to think that
You're gay?
That no,
That you're a whore. I mean, not gay. I mean, like a whore. Like you're a man whore of some sort.
That I'm like maybe not as successful as people think, and I'm a little trashy.
We're not successful.
And then people would be like,
We're
they
not
already think
successful.
that.
We were successful.
No,
We're not now.
You know who my hero is? There's this Mormon billionaire named Brandon Fugel.
All right.
And
I've heard that name.
He owns Skinwalker Ranch. So if you've seen that show, The Mystery of Skinwalker Ranch, he's the guy that currently owns Skinwalker Ranch, and they're doing this TV show about.
Yeah.
Hold on, what's Skinwalker Ranch?
We don't have time, but it's a crazy like spot out in the desert of Western America where like weird phenomena happens all the time.
I hate the name of it. Skinwalker Ranch is gross.
So we'll get into that, and maybe we'll do a whole nother separate. But anyway, he owns Skinwalker Ranch, and he also owns this company. I forget what it's called, but they've been in the news lately because they're cloning mammoths right now. Have you heard about that? I think it's called like Colossal Tech or something like that. He owns, and then like he owns like all of Utah or whatever, real estate wise or whatever. But anyway, that guy went on his Mormon mission trip with this other dude who became his best friend / security guard, and they call him Dragon. That guy's my hero. He gets paid like probably $5 million a year just to walk around behind Brandon Fugel with like a 9 on him.
And his name is Dragon?
They call him Dragon.
He'll never have to use it, you know.
We actually have a listener named Dragon that just canceled his BDM membership. He's
the
very
guy,
angry. He's very angry.
The guy from not Romania, but he's gonna be so mad that I didn't remember which Eastern European country he's from. But sorry, I've smoked with the Dragon. He's cool as hell.
Yeah, he's very nice.
I like
but
the Dragon.
He was mad and he disputed the credit card. He's disputed the charges of the credit card company, which cost me like $75. And I said, "Hey, buddy,
what was he mad about?
You can't dispute this. This is not a fraudulent charge. You signed up for this." And he's like, "Just kill the thing. I can't figure out how to do it." Like every other old man. He's like, I can't figure out how to cancel it. I'm like, "Come on, help me out, Dragon."
He like lost his password or something, couldn't get back into his account to cancel, so he just disputed the charges to stop it.
No. I walked him through canceling. He just doesn't have time for it. He's like, "It's easier just to dispute it, and it costs you money. It's easier to be a pain in your ass, Dan." And I wrote him. I was like, "Please contact your bank. I get charged for this." He's like, he just doesn't even look at that part that I write him. He just writes back. He's like, "Just cancel my account." I'm like, I'm asking you to help me, Dragon. Please help me out. He'll write back, "No, just cancel my account.
Well,
I don't care about what you need, Dan. I only care about what I need."
Don't want to be a BDM anymore?
No,
Come on.
I know.
Anyway.
$295. He disputed it 4 times. He cost me like $370, that guy.
Well, as we, we'll just start using Crazy Buddha. And then that'll be the end of that. I'll be tapped into the bear suit. I'm jumping over.
I'll be a bartender.
Jumping over the screw tractor. We'll also be doing
I'm
stand-up.
a little person bartender.
Now you call me Dragon.
That's how we'll end our career. All right.
Oh, my God. Well, I'm glad it went so well.
Again, Tots with Ross, the Orlando talk show with Ross
we'll
McCoy.
see you at the inaugural Mo DeWitt American Tater Tot Challenge.
The All-American Tater Tot Challenge. Yeah, people want to see that happen.
Any upcoming shows you want to promote?
Just follow me on Instagram, LRossGram, on Facebook.com/LRoss, and then if you're on X still, I don't use it, so never mind.
All right.
Yeah, I'm on there, but I don't even know how to use it. It's all different now.
It's different now, yeah.
All right, we will see you tomorrow.